Hey everybody, Dominic here, and in this video I want to talk about utilizing Google Slides as a graphic organizer. In previous videos I've talked about how you can use Google Slides to do things like create a gallery walk where students can add comments and pictures in, or annotating videos or images. And for this one, I'm just going to talk about how we can build a graphic organizer in Google Drawings and then bring that into Google Slides as something that students can work with collaboratively. Okay, so in this example, I'm going to be doing a Venn diagram, okay, and how that can work in Google Slides. So to get started, the first step will be to actually make the Venn diagram image, which is relatively simple, but there is a way to do it that I think is a good way. So I'm going to start by making a new Google drawing. So I'm going to go to New, go down here to More, and go to Google Drawings. Okay, so that opens a blank Google drawing for me to work on. Now, I want to make sure that this drawing that I make is the same dimensions as my Google slide. And so to verify that, I'll go over to Slides. Here's a blank Google slide. I'm going to go up to File, Page Setup, and I can see here that it's set to 16 by 9 widescreen. Okay, so if I go over my Google drawing, go to File, Page Setup, I'm going to set it to 16 by 9 as well. Hit Apply, and now the dimensions are the same. Okay, so now the next step is to make the circles for our Venn diagram. So I'll go up to the Shapes tool, go over to Shapes and Circle. I'm going to draw out the circle. When I do this, I'm going to hold down the Shift key. That makes sure that the circle that I draw is equidistant on all sides. Okay, so make my circle nice and big. Okay, there it is. You can see Google Drawings has these guides to help you center things. So I'll get on the red line to center it. Okay, now I'm going to select this circle. I want to change the color of this circle so that it's a little bit transparent. So I'll click on the paint bucket up here for the fill color. I'll go down to Custom. And you can see here I can pick any color that I want, and then I can choose how transparent that color is going to be. So let's say I want to do a bit of a blue for this, but I want to make it somewhat transparent. So we'll go down to about here. Hit OK. Okay, there that is, a little transparent. Now I'm going to copy this circle and paste it. So now we got two circles. Okay, and I'll bring it over here. And now if I wanted to, I could change the color of this circle. Not necessary, but I could. Maybe I will do a red. So I'll go over here to red. It's already set to be slightly transparent. I'll hit OK. So there we go. We got our red and our blue circles. Okay. And now I can click and drag to select both of them. And if I move it, I can make sure it's all centered with those red guides. Okay, so it's perfectly centered. Okay, so I've got my Venn diagram circles here. Now, the next step is going to be to bring this into Google Slides. So to do that, I'm actually going to download this as a PNG file. Actually, first let me give it a name here. Venn circles. Okay, I'll hit File, Download as PNG. Okay, that'll download an image file to my computer. Now I'm going to go over to Google Slides. I'm going to delete out this placeholder text. So we have a blank slide. And I'm going to go up to Background, choose Image, and I'm going to upload that image that I just made. So I'll go to my Downloads folder. See, I called it Venn Circles. So, oh, there it is, Venn Circles. Okay, and hit Done. So now that's the background image for my Google slide. Now you may wonder, well, why didn't I just go up here and make the Venn in Google Slides? Why did I have to do that Google Drawing step? The reason is that what I wanted to do was I wanted to make an image that I could set as the background of the slide. And the reason that's good is that when students are working on the slide, they can't accidentally manipulate the actual graphic organizer. You know, if I click and drag, if I want to try to move this blue circle, I can't because it's the background of the slide. There's no way for me to click and move it around, and that's a good thing. We want to keep it where it is. Okay, so now the next step is I want to give my students some little markers that they get to manipulate in this Venn diagram. So I'm going to go up to the shape tool, and I usually like to do the rounded rectangle, but you could choose any shape you want. And I'm going to drag it out here, make it about that big. That's a good size. I can change the background color if I wanted to, and change the text if I wanted to. Maybe I'll make it bold and make it white. And let's make it a little smaller, maybe 10-point text. Okay. And so then I've got a marker here that I can manipulate. I also need to have a header at the top of this slide to indicate, what our students supposed to do here. So I could create a new text box up here at the top and say, what makes let's see here, what are the characteristics of the following pets. Okay, I'll make that middle of the screen there. Just going to center that. There it is. Okay. I might set the background color of that text box just so that it's easy to read. Okay. And now I can also put labels on these two. I could have put these labels in when I was creating in Google Drawing. The benefit of that would be that you would not be able to manipulate the labels, which could very well be a good thing. The only reason I didn't do that is because now I can relabel and reuse this Venn image over and over. But obviously you could, if you wanted to, label it in drawings just to avoid having those labels get manipulated. Okay. Okay, so we've got our prompt, we've got our labels, and now with these markers, what we can do is just start putting information inside of them. So I can do a copy on this marker. I can do paste, 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 paste. Okay, so I got a bunch of markers. And then for each one, I can start typing in some information. So I might say furry. Drinks milk, chases cars, is awesome, has a tail. Okay, so I have these different markers over here, and from this point what I could do is I could link this Google slide presentation to my class. So to do that, I would go up to Share in the top right. Oops, I have to give it a name. So we'll do Pet Venn Diagram. Give that name to it. Okay, I'm going to click on Get Shareable Link. I'm going to change the share permission so that anyone at CVTC with the link can edit. That way they have to be a student at CVTC, and that way I can track who is doing what. Okay. I'll copy that link and I can go paste that link into Canvas, and I'll give students instructions on what they're supposed to do. They'll click on the link, they'll come into the Google slide, they have edit permission, which means they can grab these markers and move them to the appropriate spots. Okay, drinks milk, chases cars, has a tail, is awesome. Where do you think this one's gonna go? With dogs, obviously. Cats are awesome too, I guess. Okay, fine. I'll put it in the middle. Though really, I would put it with dogs. Okay, so you can see that this is a relatively simple way to throw together this type of graphic organizer, and it can be collaborative. Now, this was a very, very simple example. There are many other ways you could utilize this activity, and really, you're limited by your creativity and the objectives of your course. But I just wanted to show this capability of how you can use Google Slides in a somewhat creative way. So if you have any questions about utilizing this tool, reach out to me. I'd be happy to help you out. And thank you for watching.